This year, Advent is going to be different. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm so excited about this video. It's been on my heart for a couple weeks now, and I know some of you have asked me to make a particular Advent video, so here it is. This video is going to be about what Advent is and also how I plan on celebrating the season with peace and as a mini Lent, which is what is expected to be, and how I'm going to shut out the consumerism of the season, shut out this idea that Christmas comes before the feast of the Solemnity of the Nativity, and really get back to what the church means when we're talking about Advent. So before we get started, if you are new, welcome to my channel. I am a Catholic mommy. I love talking about our faith. I also talk about homeschooling sometimes, wifehood, motherhood, and that kind of thing. So I hope that you stick around and become part of our family here. If you are returning, then welcome back. I love hanging out with you guys and just talking to you about our faith and just about life, as we are a pilgrim people and we are moving towards our goal, which is eternity and salvation with Jesus Christ. Advent is a mini Lent, and the three pillars of Lent are prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. And there is a way to take those three pillars and to apply them to Advent. And I'm so excited this year to take this very seriously. Now, Advent is a time of preparation. We're not only preparing for Christmas Day and the Christmas season that follows, but we are also preparing our hearts and souls for Jesus' second coming. It's not about presents, it's not about Christmas cards, even though those are beautiful things, and I'm not saying don't do those, but as a Catholic, we have to step away from the rest of the world. We have to be of this world, but not in this world, right? And so we have to consciously put ourselves into this different place, into this place of preparation. And so the first part of that is prayer. So just like during Lent, we typically take time to start maybe a new devotion, a new prayer life, kind of buckle down, maybe have an hour with God every day, start going to daily mass more, going to adoration. We have all these grand plans to bring ourselves closer to Jesus Christ. The same should be true for Advent, that this is a period where we need to draw closer to Jesus Christ. There are plenty of Advent books that are particular to this time of year where you can sit down and you can really think through every day, have some kind of thought process on the Advent season. My plan is just to take one of those mental prayer books that I talked about earlier in my rosary video this week and just really spend time, ideally at least 30 minutes, I'm going to start timing myself, with that book. And not only with that book, but also committing to actual mental prayer. It's one thing for me to read something, and then it's another thing for me to actually implement it. It's like I like the idea of everything, but I don't have the follow-through sometimes to actually implement it. The second aspect is fasting. Now, typically when we think of Advent, we think of Christmas cookies, Christmas parties, kind of overindulging. The rest of society kind of spends December, like Thanksgiving through December 31st eating, and then they decide January 1st they're going to go on a fast. It's a bit different with Catholics because honestly, the Advent season is a great time to kind of keep back from overindulging if that's something you're called to. And then obviously the Christmas season is a season of feasting. We should be feasting, I think it's through January 8th or 9th this year. I'll put it up, here, the exact day that the Christmas season is over and we return to ordinary time. But we're a feasting people. We feast all the time anyway. But really, during the Christmas season, which is December 25th through that date in January, that's a feast time. We shouldn't be starting New Year's resolutions to work out and lose weight and do all this crazy stuff, because that's not living liturgically. That's living by the calendar that the rest of the world does. But we are a Catholic people. We don't live by the secular calendar. We live by the liturgical calendar and the liturgical seasons. But for me in particular, the fasting is going to look like fasting from consumerism. So Heather at A Catholic Mom's Life, her video last year, I think she's dropped a video today as well, but last year she talked about how she gets all of her Christmas shopping, like everything, even teacher gifts, I'm assuming if they do stocking gifts, everything, done before Thanksgiving Day. That is amazing. I remember watching that last year. I think her video dropped after Thanksgiving, which is why I was like, that's such a great idea, but I was already in December. And that's why I wanted to make this video early, in case some of you also feel called to do this. But this year, my goal is to have everything bought by the end of Cyber Monday. It's hard for me not to take advantage of the Cyber Monday deals because sometimes they're just really good. And when you're on a budget, I have a pretty strict Christmas budget this year, those are the kind of things I take advantage of. However, now is a time to start shopping those deals, making your Christmas list, having your kids come up with their Christmas list, being really intentional about how many gifts you want to get your kids, what you want to get them, why are you getting what you're getting, and as a Catholic, like, it's not about the presents, right? The presents are beautiful and wonderful and they emulate the Epiphany, but that's not the point of Christmas. And so while it's fun to open gifts, part of my goal is to give gifts that are just more meaningful. So I'm going to get my kids some Catholic related gifts this year. I'm going to get them each a nice sweatshirt, something that is just something they can wear more than just a day. Maybe get them a new bathrobe, slippers, pajamas. My kids are really grateful, so I don't think they're gonna snub their noses at clothes because we don't buy much anyway. But it's one of those things where we just need to be really cognizant about how many gifts we're giving, how many gifts we want our children to open, when we want them to open them, what is the point of the gifts in the first place? Are they blessing your children, or are they just creating more of a mess? That kind of thing. But really, for me, I want to have that piece of the Advent season that doesn't have to do with consumerism. I'm going to turn off my email ads. I'm not going to buy anything for myself in December unless it's related to baking because I just got a KitchenAid and I'm like so in love with baking. But when I bake, I don't bake for myself. I bake for others. Like I love giving, people baked goods, and it's such a loving thing to do. But yeah, I want to turn off that for myself. I don't want to have to think about, I don't want to stress about, making that photo book for the grandparents. I'm starting that now because I want that done by the time Cyber Monday's over. Ideally having as much done before Thanksgiving, like Heather talked about, as possible. Even wrapping them. She even wrapped them because there's just this underlying stress, at least for me, when I have gifts that are purchased but they're not wrapped, things aren't organized, I'm feeling a bit chaotic. There's so many things I want to do with my family during the Advent season that has nothing to do with consumerism. And yet consumerism permeates into my house all season. And so this year we're stopping it. I'm just stopping it. I'm just saying no. In November, I have a lot of energy this month, right? This month isn't stressful. Thanksgiving is one day, it involves a little cooking, and that's it. There's no gifts to buy, there's no chaos to it, right? It's just a fun family get together. If you are blessed to be around family this Thanksgiving, then please give everybody a hug for me because we will be without family this Thanksgiving, and it's just one of those things that it'd be nice to be around family. So that's a side note, but give your family a hug for me. But yeah, we don't have to let the chaos of the Christmas season into our home. And so that's where the fasting for me comes in. And finally, with almsgiving, this can be monetary, of course. This can be giving of your time, volunteering at a food bank, volunteering at a nursing home, doing something kind for another person, for a friend. But it also can be getting rid of your excess and gifting it to other people. So my goal for Advent is every day of Advent, I want to get rid of one item in my home. Usually I end up getting rid of a lot more than one item at one time, but I want to do at least one item. And I want to take those every week to the thrift store that our church has and donate them. And that's my plan for the almsgiving aspect, as well as I usually do give monetarily to different causes over the Christmas season. So finally, I just want to point you to the direction of obviously Heather's channel. She has a couple different videos on Advent that are wonderful. I also want to point you to Sterling Jaquith's, I think I'm saying her name right, Catholic podcast. She has a specific one on Advent which really helped me. She's the one who wrote Not of This World, a Catholic's Guide to Minimalism. She also has some mommy challenges that are amazing. I will link her podcast down below, as well as the specific Advent one that just really spoke to my heart. She talked about this consumerism. She talked about not letting the noise in. And I just think Advent, even more than Lent, is supposed to be this very peaceful time. We're in winter, sometimes it's snowing, we have beautiful music we get to listen to. I'm not one who shuts off the Christmas music during Advent. We will listen to some of it. I tend to try to strive more towards the classical side of things, because it's going to invoke more of a peaceful environment than, you know, like kind of the more jarring jingles that I save for like Christmas Day and afterward. So this video was just more about the Advent season and kind of preparing our hearts. I do want to do another video that has more of concrete, like this is what I do, this is, you know, these are the ways we celebrate the Advent season with my kids. Heather and I talked about maybe collabing on this, so I'll let you know in the next video if that's something we end up doing or not, but either way, there's a lot of resources out there for how to make Advent a really special time with your kids, because this isn't just about us and our walk with God, it's also about bringing our family along with us, because, you know, our task is to help not just ourselves get to heaven, but for our children to become saints as well. And so that'll be coming really soon. So I hope this video was helpful. Hopefully maybe it made you think, take a step back, think about being really intentional about the Advent season. I think that our society can kind of pull us along and make us feel as though we have to keep up with the Joneses. And we just don't. We don't have to keep up with the Joneses. We don't have to buy our kids the latest thing. We don't have to buy every single person in our family a gift, right? That's not really what the season's about, especially if you are in town and you can spend time with them. You know, set aside a day and bake cookies with your sister. And that can be your gift to her, right? You don't need to buy her a sweater. Like, you can, but that you don't have to. And this obligatory sense of gift giving in and of itself is really dysfunctional, because a lot of us don't have the money to just spend, you know, $500 to $800 on all these gifts for different people that are honestly just going to get chucked within a year anyway, most of them. And so it's just really important to be, I think, really intentional about this season, to get rid of this comparison with other people, get rid of even this expectation of what it should be based on, you know, Pinterest or Instagram or YouTube. Just, what do you want this season to be about? How do you want to grow closer to Christ this season? Because that is it, right? It has nothing to do with anything else. It's all about creating a lovely home for your family so that all of you can grow towards Christ. So I hope you guys have a very blessed day. We're about 3 weeks away from Advent. I hope this video was helpful, and I'll talk to you real soon. Until next time, remember to continue to know God, love God, and do God's will. Have a beautiful day. Bye.